Few realize Ranni's fate was sealed centuries before her birth, when the Greater Will first imposed the Golden Order upon the lands between. That ancient decree, delivered through a falling star and enforced by the Two Fingers, didn't just reshape the world. It predetermined the destiny of every Empyrean who would ever be chosen to succeed Queen Marika the Eternal. Ranni the Witch, daughter of Queen Rennala and Radagon, would become the architect of the most audacious rebellion the lands between had ever witnessed. A conspiracy so vast it would shatter the very foundations of reality itself and offer a path to freedom that no god or outer power had ever permitted. Her story is one of calculated defiance, of a demigod who chose death over servitude, who orchestrated the murder that ignited the Shattering War, and who spent centuries as a disembodied spirit pursuing a singular vision: to sever the world from the influence of all outer gods, including the Greater Will that had ruled unchallenged since time immemorial. But to call Ranni simply a witch or a schemer is to miss the profound tragedy and breathtaking ambition of her tale. She was born into divinity, groomed to become a vessel for an outer god, destined to inherit her mother's brilliance and her father's golden legacy. Yet she rejected it all, choosing instead a path that would cost her everything she was and nearly everything she could ever be. The price she paid was her own flesh, burned away in a ritual suicide that should have ended her existence entirely. Yet through sorcery and sheer force of will, she persisted as a shade bound to a doll, waiting in hidden ruins and forgotten corners of the world for the one chance, the one convergence of circumstances that might allow her plan to finally succeed. What makes her story so compelling is not just the scale of her ambition, but the web of alliances, betrayals, and sacrifices that made it possible. She commanded assassins who could kill gods, forged pacts with ancient dragons and wolf-bound shadows, and manipulated events across the lands between with such precision that even her own family never fully understood the role they played in her design. The Night of Black Knives, the event that murdered Godwyn the Golden and shattered the Elden Ring, was not the chaotic outbreak of violence it appeared to be. It was the opening move in Ranni's grand strategy, a carefully orchestrated strike that required the theft of a fragment of the Rune of Death itself, the forging of god-slaying weapons, and the coordination of assassins trained by Marika's own shadow. That single night changed everything, plunging the lands between into an age of war and madness. Yet it was merely the beginning of a plan that would take centuries to unfold. Ranni's conspiracy reached into every corner of the world, from the snow-covered peaks of the mountaintops of the Giants to the underground cities of Nokron and Nokstella, from the hidden Academy of Sorcery at Raya Lucaria to the decaying ruins of the Divine Towers, where the Two Fingers once held absolute authority. She gathered around her a circle of the most loyal and capable servants any demigod ever commanded. Blaidd, the half-wolf warrior bound to her by the Two Fingers themselves, yet devoted beyond his own programming. Iji, the giant blacksmith whose wisdom and craft made possible the weapons and strategies she needed. And Seluvis, the twisted puppet master, whose own schemes ran parallel to hers in ways both useful and dangerous. Each of them played their part, some willingly, some unknowingly, and some would pay the ultimate price when the Two Fingers realized the depth of Ranni's betrayal and turned their own agents against her. But Ranni's story cannot be understood in isolation. It is woven into the fabric of the lands between's entire history, reaching back to the age of the Crucible, when life was chaotic and unbound by order, forward through the arrival of the Elden Beast and the establishment of the Golden Order, and onward to the reign of Queen Marika, whose own mysterious motivations and hidden rebellions may have inspired or even enabled Ranni's path. The world Ranni was born into was already fracturing, already showing the cracks that would become chasms. Marika had shattered the Elden Ring herself, an act of defiance or despair that transformed the goddess into a prisoner within the Erd Tree. And in that moment of cosmic rupture, the demigods went to war, each claiming fragments of the shattered ring and battling for supremacy in a conflict that would devastate the realm and leave it a land of ruins, wandering dead and fading grace. Ranni, alone among the demigods, wanted nothing to do with the Elden Ring or the power it represented. She had already abandoned her great rune, already cast aside her Empyrean flesh, and she watched the shattering war from the shadows, waiting for the pieces to fall into place. Her plan required patience, secrecy, and above all, it required a champion, someone not bound by the existing order, someone who could move freely through a world where every path was watched by the agents of the greater will. That champion would be you, a Tarnished, one of the exiled dead called back to the lands between by grace, that no longer knew where to guide its chosen. The Tarnished were meant to fight for the Elden Ring, to become Elden Lord and restore the Golden Order. But Ranni saw in them something else, a potential ally who could help her achieve what no god or demigod could do alone. Find the treasure of Nokron, claim the Fingerslayer Blade, slay the two fingers that bound her fate, and ultimately obtain the Dark Moon Ring that would allow her to complete her ascension, not as a god of the existing order, but as something entirely new. The journey she sets before her chosen consort is staggering in scope, requiring the defeat of ancient guardians, the exploration of underground civilizations that predate the Golden Order itself, the navigation of political and magical conspiracies that span generations, and ultimately a confrontation with the very nature of reality and divinity in the lands between. Yet even as you work toward her goals, Ranni remains enigmatic, speaking in riddles and half-truths, appearing and disappearing at crucial moments, testing your loyalty and capability at every turn. She is not a damsel to be rescued or a quest giver offering simple rewards. She is a being of immense power and intelligence who has orchestrated her own death and rebirth, who has set in motion events that killed her own brother and ignited a world-consuming war, and who offers at the end of her path, in the time before time, in the primordial era that predates all recorded history of the lands between, the world existed in a state utterly alien to the ordered reality we encounter in Elden Ring. This prehistoric age, shrouded in myth and fragmentary memory, forms the foundation upon which all subsequent events would unfold. To understand Ranni's rebellion and her ultimate rejection of the Golden Order, we must first understand what came before that order, what it replaced, and why the imposition of divine structure would eventually breed such profound resistance. At the heart of this ancient world pulsed the Crucible, a phenomenon unlike anything that would follow. The Crucible was not merely a place or a thing, but rather the wellspring of existence itself, a churning mass of pure, vital energy from which all life in the lands between would emerge. Imagine, if you can, a state of being where life existed not as separate species, distinct organisms, or individual creatures, but as a unified, undifferentiated whole. The Crucible manifested as exactly this, a chaotic amalgamation where the essences of what would later become dragons, beasts, humans, and countless other forms of life swirled together in primordial unity. This was not the sterile void of nothingness, but rather an overwhelming abundance of life force, so densely packed and intermingled that no clear boundaries existed between one form and another. The creatures that emerged from this primordial soup bore the marks of its chaotic nature. Life in the age of the Crucible was wild, mutable, and unpredictable. Beings possessed traits that would later be considered aberrations, mixing characteristics that the ordered world would deem incompatible. Horns, wings, tails, scales, and stranger appendages grew from bodies without rhyme or reason, reflecting the Crucible's fundamental nature as a place where all possibilities coexisted simultaneously. The Crucible Knights, elite warriors who would serve Godfrey in a much later age, practiced incantations that channeled this ancient power, their magic manifesting as bestial transformations that allowed them to sprout horns or breathe fire, echoes of that primordial state where such mutations were not aberrations but the natural order of things. This was a world without hierarchy, without the clear delineations between higher and lower forms of life. The Crucible did not distinguish between noble and base, between pure and impure. All life shared the same origin, the same fundamental nature. In this sense, The Age of the Crucible represented a kind of egalitarian chaos, a time before the concepts of divine right, chosen peoples, or ordained destiny had any meaning. It was raw, vital, and utterly without the structure that thinking beings often crave. But chaos, however vital and generative, attracts the attention of forces that seek to impose order. From beyond the stars, from the vast cosmic expanse that surrounds the lands between, an entity of immense power observed this primordial world. The Greater Will, an outer god whose true nature and form remain beyond mortal comprehension, turned its inscrutable attention toward the Crucible and found the chaos wanting. The Greater Will exists as one of several outer gods, cosmic entities that exist outside the normal bounds of reality and seek to exert their influence upon the material world. Where the Crucible represented organic chaos and undifferentiated life, the Greater Will embodied the opposite principle: order, structure, hierarchy, and law. The motivations of such a being defy easy explanation. Perhaps the Greater Will genuinely believed that order would benefit the inhabitants of the lands between, that structure and law would allow civilization to flourish where only savage chaos had reigned. Or perhaps, as some would later come to suspect, the Greater Will simply sought dominion, another realm to bring under its cosmic authority. Whatever its true intentions, the Greater Will did not remain a passive observer. It acted. The Greater Will's instrument of transformation came in the form of the Elden Beast, a vassal creature of living gold that embodied its creator's divine will. Picture a being of pure cosmic energy, a living constellation given form and purpose, descending from the stars like a golden meteor. The Elden Beast was not merely a messenger or servant, but rather an extension of the Greater Will itself, carrying within its essence the fundamental laws and principles that would reshape reality. When the Elden Beast arrived in the lands between, it did not conquer through force of arms or subjugate through displays of power. Instead, it enacted a transformation far more profound and lasting. The Elden Beast became the Elden Ring itself. This was not a physical ring in the conventional sense, not a band of metal or stone, but rather a metaphysical construct, a living embodiment of cosmic law. The Elden Ring contained within its structure the fundamental rules that would govern existence in the lands between, the principles that would determine how life functioned, how death operated, how fate unfolded. It was simultaneously a source of power and a cage of limitations, granting immense strength to those who could wield it, while binding all of reality to its ordained structure. The great runes that we encounter in the game, those fragments of power claimed by the demigods after the Shattering, represent pieces of this greater whole, each one containing a portion of the laws that govern reality. But the Greater Will required more than just the presence of the Elden Ring. Divine will, no matter how powerful, means nothing if it cannot be communicated and interpreted. For this purpose, the two fingers emerged as intermediaries between the cosmic and the terrestrial. These strange, multi-jointed entities, resembling gigantic fingers that writhe and gesture with unsettling purpose, established themselves as the oracles and interpreters of the Greater Will's intentions. They did not speak in clear, unambiguous language, but rather communicated through cryptic gestures and pronouncements that required careful interpretation. This ambiguity would prove significant in ages to come, as different interpreters might derive different meanings from the same divine communications, leading to schisms and conflicts over what the Greater Will truly desired. From the site where the Elden Beast had transformed, from the heart of what had been the Crucible, a new symbol of the imposed order began to grow. The Erd Tree, that massive golden tree that would come to dominate the landscape and the consciousness of all who dwelled in the lands between, pushed its roots deep into the primordial essence and stretched its branches toward the heavens. The Erd Tree was not entirely separate from the Crucible, however. It grew from that ancient source, and in its deepest roots and oldest wood, traces of the primordial chaos remained. The sap that flowed through the Erd-tree carried memories of what had been, and the blessings it would later bestow upon the faithful contained echoes of that undifferentiated vitality. This connection meant that the Golden Order, for all its emphasis on purity and hierarchy, could never fully escape its origins in the very chaos it sought to suppress. Yet the Erd-tree and the Elden Ring alone were not sufficient to establish a lasting order. Divine power requires a mortal vessel, a being who can walk among the inhabitants of the world and enforce the cosmic will through tangible action. For this role, the Greater Will selected Queen Marika the Eternal, a Numen woman who had come to the lands between from beyond its borders. The Numen were a race of long-lived beings, their extended lifespans making them suitable candidates for roles that required enduring commitment across centuries. Marika's origins outside the lands between gave her a unique perspective, someone not born from the Crucible's chaos, but rather arriving as an outsider who could more easily embrace the Greater Will's vision of order. Marika became the vessel of the Elden Ring, the living embodiment of its laws, containing within her body the fundamental structure of reality itself. The Golden Order, now firmly established, enforces a fundamental principle known as regression, one of the two pillars upon which the entire theological and cosmic structure of Marika's rule would rest. Regression dictates that all things yearn eternally to converge, that all life, all matter, all existence must eventually return to the One, to the Erd-tree itself. In practical terms, this means that death is not an ending, but a return. When beings die under the Golden Order, their essence, their very souls, are absorbed back into the Erd-tree, feeding its golden light and perpetuating the cycle. This is why the Erd-tree glows with such radiance, why its roots drink deep from the land, and why burial practices across the lands between shift dramatically during this era. The dead are no longer left to rot or burned in pyres. Instead, they are interred at the roots of minor Erd-trees, or brought to catacombs, where their bodies can properly return to the great tree. This principle of regression becomes not just theology, but law, enforced by the Golden Order fundamentalists, who would arise in later generations to codify every aspect of Marika's vision into incantations and doctrine. Yet even as the Golden Order tightens its grip, the Crucible's influence does not vanish entirely. It cannot be so easily erased. The primordial energies that once swirled through all living things leave their mark, their remnants persisting in certain bloodlines and beings that the New Order finds deeply troubling. The misbegotten, those twisted humanoid creatures with grafted animal limbs and features, are living embodiments of the Crucible's chaotic blending of forms. They are not mutations or aberrations in the way we might understand them. They are throwbacks, beings whose very existence recalls that ancient time when all life was intermingled. Similarly, the omens, children born with horns and cursed blood, represent another vestige of the Crucible. In the age before the Golden Order, such features might have been seen as blessings, signs of primordial vitality. Now they are marks of impurity, evidence of contamination by forces the Golden Order seeks to suppress. Omen children born to common families are shunned, their horns brutally excised in horrific rituals performed in the sewers beneath Leyndell. Those born to nobility, like Morgott and Morg, the twin sons who would later emerge from Marika's own bloodline, are hidden away in shame, imprisoned beneath the capital, where their existence cannot taint the golden image of the royal family. The Crucible Knights, warriors who channel the ancient energies through their incantations, summoning tails and horns and breath attacks, become relics of a fading age, their techniques viewed with suspicion even as their martial prowess remains undeniable. The dragons, those ancient and supremely powerful creatures who dominated the skies and mountains during the Crucible's height, do not bow easily to this new order. These are not mere beasts, but intelligent, immortal beings, whose civilization predates even the Erdtree itself. They possess their own magic, their own communion with forces beyond mortal understanding, channeling red lightning that splits the heavens and stone scales that turn aside all but the mightiest weapons. The dragons are led, or were once led, by Placidusax, the ancient Dragon Lord, a being of such immense power that he served as Elden Lord in an age before Marika, before the current form of the Elden Ring, in a time so distant that even the records of the Golden Order cannot fully account for it. Placidusax ruled from Farum Azula, that great tempest-racked city that exists partially outside of time itself, a crumbling temple complex suspended in eternal storm clouds above the lands between. When his god, the entity he served as consort and lord, fled or vanished or was defeated, the details lost to the erosion of ages, Placidusax entered a state of dormancy, waiting eternally for that god's return, his very body becoming stone as the centuries passed. The other dragons, however, remain active, and they resist the encroachment of the Golden Order with all the fury their ancient pride can muster. Into this conflict steps Godfrey, a warrior of such legendary might that Marika chooses him as her first consort, her first Elden Lord. He is not of divine blood, not born of gods or outer powers, but a mortal man, a chieftain of the Badlands, a tarnished warrior who proves himself through sheer martial excellence. Marika grants him the title Godfrey, elevating him from his birth name Huara Lu, and with this new identity comes a companion, a counselor in the form of Sarosh, the aged lion who grafts himself to Godfrey's back. Sarosh is not merely symbolic. The Beast Lord serves as a regulator, a limiter on Godfrey's savage battle lust, tempering the raw, bloodthirsty warrior into something that can stand beside a goddess in court and council. As Elden Lord, Godfrey becomes the instrument of Marika's will, the sword that carves away the old world to make room for the new. He wages brutal campaigns against the remnants of the Crucible's age, leading armies against the giants in their frozen peaks, against the dragons in their mountain aeries, against the Stormlord's forces in their coastal fortresses. These are not mere skirmishes, but wars of extermination, systematic campaigns designed to break the power of any force that might challenge the Golden Order's supremacy. The Fire Giants, those colossal beings who dwell in the mountaintops of the giants and worship the fell god of flame, face the full wrath of this crusade. These giants are not simply large humans, but a distinct species, towering beings with a single great eye set in their torsos and the power to command flame itself. Their fell god, a deity of fire and destruction, stands in direct opposition to everything the Erdtree represents. Where the Erdtree offers golden light and the promise of eternal return, the fell god offers consuming flame, the power to burn away the old and leave only ash from which something new might grow. The flame these giants tend, the flame of ruin, has the unique and terrifying property of being able to burn the Erdtree itself, making it perhaps the single greatest threat to Marika's order. Godfrey's war against the giants is merciless. One by one, the great beings fall, their bodies left frozen in the snow, their forges extinguished, their civilization reduced to ruins. When the last giant remains, Marika does not grant him the mercy of death. Instead, she curses him, binds him with a duty that will last for eternity. This final giant is condemned to tend the flame of ruin, to keep it alive but contained, a prisoner of the very fire his people once wielded freely, ensuring that the flame never dies but also never spreads, a perfect encapsulation of the Golden Order's approach to threats it cannot fully destroy. Far below the surface world, in the subterranean cities of Nokron and Noxtella, the Nox civilization pursues its own ambitions, heedless of, or perhaps in deliberate defiance of the Greater Will's designs. The Nox are an advanced people, masters of silver and starlight, wielders of gravity magic, and architects of impossible structures. They do not worship the Erdtree or bow to the Golden Order. Instead, they look upward to the stars, to the cosmos beyond, seeking power and knowledge from the void itself. In their hubris or their wisdom, depending on one's perspective, the Nox attempt something audacious. They seek to create their own lord, their own god, using the power they have drawn from the stars. The exact nature of this attempt remains shrouded, but the evidence suggests they were crafting a being that could rival or replace the gods chosen by the greater will, a lord of night and silver rather than gold and light. This is heresy of the highest order, a direct challenge to the cosmic hierarchy the greater will has established. The punishment is swift and absolute. The greater will, acting through means that leave no record of the mechanism, brings down catastrophe upon the eternal cities. Nokron and Noxstella, once proud cities that stood beneath open skies, are buried, cast down into the depths of the earth, sealed away from the heavens they so revered. The Nox are cursed with eternal night, their cities now illuminated only by the false stars they create through their magic, pale imitations of the cosmos they can no longer reach. Their connection to the stars is severed, and they are left to dwell in darkness, their civilization frozen in time, their ambitions turned to dust. The ruins of their cities will remain there for ages, waiting in the deep places of the world, their secrets preserved, but their people broken. During this tumultuous period, a theological split emerges that will echo through all subsequent ages. The two fingers and the three fingers, both claiming to interpret or embody the greater will's intentions, represent divergent and ultimately incompatible visions. The two fingers, those grotesque hand-like entities that serve as envoys and oracles, preach order, structure, the Golden Order's vision of controlled eternity. The three fingers, fewer in number and hidden away, speak of something else entirely, a flame of frenzy that would burn away all distinction, all division, melting everything into a primordial oneness through destruction rather than the Erd Tree's absorption. This schism plants seeds that will not fully bloom for ages, but the fracture is there, a crack in the foundation of the order Marika is building. The Erd Tree itself transforms during these ages. The primordial form, still bearing traces of the crucible's red and gold intermingling, its bark showing hints of that ancient chaotic vitality, gradually gives way to pure gold. The tree's appearance becomes more refined, more perfect, more aligned with the aesthetic and theological principles of the Golden Order. This is not merely cosmetic, but represents a fundamental shift in the nature of the tree's power and purpose, from a wild font of primordial life to a structured system of death and rebirth, from chaos to order, from the crucible to the Erd Tree as we would come to know it. We now enter one of the most catastrophic periods in the history of the lands between, a time when the very foundations of reality would crack and bleed. During the latter days of the age of the Erd Tree, in what scholars would come to call the collapse of order, Queen Marika the Eternal committed an act of rebellion so profound that its consequences would reshape the world itself. She shattered the Elden Ring. The Elden Ring, you'll remember, was the physical manifestation of the Golden Order's laws, the cosmic architecture that governed life, death, and the natural world. When Marika took up her hammer and brought it down upon the ring, she didn't simply break an artifact. She fractured the fundamental rules of existence. The reasons for this transgression remain debated among scholars. Some believe she acted out of grief following the death of her son Godwyn. Others suggest she had grown disillusioned with the greater will, the outer god that had granted her godhood in the first place. Whatever her motivation, the result was immediate and devastating. The Golden Order began to collapse. The Elden Ring's fragments, which would become known as the Great Runes, scattered across the lands between, claimed by Marika's demigod children. And thus began the Shattering War, a conflict that would see brother turn against sister, armies clash across continents, and the land itself twisted by the ambitions of those who sought to claim the power of a god. Radagon, of the Golden Order, Marika's consort, attempted to prevent this catastrophe. Here we must understand something crucial about Radagon. He was not simply Marika's husband. He was, in a mystery that defies conventional understanding, also Marika herself. Two personalities, two wills, inhabiting the same divine body. Where Marika had grown to question the Golden Order, Radagon remained its most devoted champion. In the moments after the Shattering, as Marika's consciousness receded, Radagon seized control of their shared form and attempted to repair what she had broken. He gathered the fragments. He spoke the words of mending. He channeled every ounce of divine power at his command. But the Elden Ring would not be made whole. Whether this was because the damage was too severe, or because Marika's will still resisted from within, or because the greater will itself had withdrawn its blessing, the result was failure. The ring remained shattered. And for this transgression, for Marika's crime and Radagon's inability to undo it, the greater will imposed a terrible punishment. Both Marika and Radagon were imprisoned within the Erd Tree itself, crucified upon the remnants of the Elden Ring, suspended in divine agony for what might have been eternity. But our focus must turn now to one of Radagon's children from an earlier union, for her story intertwines with these events in ways both subtle and profound. Before Radagon became Marika's consort, before he ascended to stand beside a goddess, he had been married to Rennala, queen of the full moon and sovereign of the Academy of Raya Lucaria. Their union had been both political and genuine, sealing peace between the Golden Order and the sorcerers of Leonia. From this marriage came 3 children: Radahn, who would become a mighty general and master of gravity magic; Rykard, who would claim lordship over the volcanic Matgelmir and delve into blasphemous sorceries; and Ranni, youngest of the 3, who inherited something far more significant than mere talent or title. Ranni was born an Empyrean. This term requires explanation, for it represents a fate both exalted and terrible. An Empyrean is a being chosen by the 2 fingers, the physical agents of the greater will in the lands between, as a potential vessel for godhood. Not every child of a god can become an Empyrean. The selection follows rules that remain obscure, but it seems to require a particular spiritual purity, a soul capable of housing the Elden Ring and channeling the power of an outer god. In all the lands between, only a handful of beings have ever been born with this potential. Marika herself had been an Empyrean before ascending to full godhood. Among Marika's children, only Miquella and Malenia shared this distinction. And now Ranni, daughter of Radagon, who was himself Marika, carried this cosmic burden. The 2 fingers made their selection clear. When Marika's reign inevitably ended, when the current goddess could no longer sustain the Golden Order, Ranni would succeed her. She would become the next vessel for the Elden Ring. Her body would house the laws of reality itself. Her will would be subsumed into the greater will's grand design. She would be a goddess, yes, but a goddess in chains, forever bound to enact the desires of an outer god, whose motives remained inscrutable and whose methods had already brought so much suffering to the world. Ranni rejected this fate utterly and completely. Where others might have seen the offer of godhood as the ultimate honor, Ranni saw only imprisonment. She had inherited her mother's brilliant mind and her father's strategic cunning, but she possessed something neither parent had: a fierce determination to forge her own path, regardless of what cosmic forces had decreed. She would not be the greater will's puppet. She would not spend eternity as a vessel for an outer god's ambitions. If the only way to escape this fate was to make herself unsuitable for godhood, then that is precisely what she would do. But how does one escape a destiny written into the fabric of reality itself? The answer, Ranni realized, lay in death. Not ordinary death, for the Golden Order had removed the rune of death from the Elden Ring long ago, making true death impossible for demigods and Empyreans. No, what Ranni needed was something far more specific and far more difficult to obtain. She needed a fragment of destined death itself, the original power that had been sealed away by Marika and entrusted to Malekith, her shadow, and the most fearsome warrior in all the lands between. And so Ranni began to plot. She reached out to her brother Rykard, Lord of Blasphemy, who had already begun his own rebellion against the Golden Order through his experiments with forbidden sorceries. Rykard's ambitions were different from Ranni's. Where she sought freedom, he sought power. Where she wished to escape the gods, he wished to devour them. But for now, their interests aligned. Rykard provided resources, connections, and most crucially, he provided contact with a group of assassins whose skills would prove essential to Ranni's plan. These were the Black Knife Assassins, a cadre of warriors whose origins remain shrouded in mystery. What we know is this: they were all women, they had connections to Marika's homeland of the Numen, and they possessed skills in stealth and murder that were unmatched in all the lands between. Ranni approached them with a proposal. She would provide them with weapons imbued with the power of destined death itself, blades capable of killing even a demigod. In exchange, they would carry out a series of assassinations on a single coordinated night, a night that would come to be known as the Night of the Black Knives. The question of how Ranni obtained a fragment of destined death remains one of the great mysteries of this era. Malekith guarded the rune of death with obsessive devotion, never letting it leave his sight. Yet somehow, through means that were either brilliantly cunning or aided by forces we don't fully understand, a piece of that power was stolen. Some scholars suggest that Marika herself may have been complicit, that the same goddess who would later shatter the Elden Ring had already begun her rebellion by allowing this theft. Others point to Ranni's mastery of sorcery and suggest she found some arcane method to siphon off a fragment without Malekith's knowledge. Whatever the truth, Ranni succeeded. She had her fragment of destined death, and she had it forged into weapons, into the black knives that would give that terrible night its name. Ranni, however, chose a different path. While the other demigods descended into a brutal conflict for supremacy, she retreated from the fray entirely. Her initial refuge was the Carian study hall, a place of ancient learning and magical power, but she soon moved to the secluded Ranni's Rise, one of the 3 Carian towers nestled in the northwest of Liurnia of the Lakes. This strategic withdrawal was not an act of cowardice, but a calculated move to distance herself from the destructive war and the very object of its contention, the Elden Ring itself. Indeed, her great rune, the very symbol of her divine lineage and power, remained hidden, untouched by the warring factions. This act of abandonment was a profound statement, signaling her rejection of the Golden Order's established power structures and her refusal to participate in a system she deemed corrupt and ultimately doomed. During this period of self-imposed seclusion, Ranni was not alone. She was fiercely protected by a loyal retinue of followers, each bound to her by unwavering devotion and a shared vision of a new future. Foremost among them was Blaidd, her half-wolf shadow. Shadows are constructs created by the 2 fingers, powerful emissaries of the greater will, to serve and protect their chosen Empyreans, guiding them towards becoming a god. Blaidd's loyalty to Ranni, however, transcended his programmed purpose, becoming a genuine and deeply personal bond. He was her sword, her shield, and her confidant, ready to face any threat to her safety and her ambitions. Alongside Blaidd stood Iji, the hulking war counselor, a giant smith whose wisdom and strength were invaluable. Iji, with his stoic demeanor and profound understanding of the world, managed Ranni's defenses and provided her with critical counsel, ensuring her sanctuary remained inviolable. Another key figure was Seluvis, a sorcerer of questionable ethics but undeniable magical prowess, who served Ranni with a cunning intellect, though his true loyalties were often shrouded in mystery. These loyal companions formed a protective circle around Ranni, safeguarding her not just from external threats, but also from the insidious influence of the greater will, which sought to reassert its control over the shattered lands between. It was within the quiet solitude of Ranni's Rise, shielded by her devoted followers and the ancient magic of the Carian royal family, that Ranni began to meticulously lay the groundwork for her grand ambition, to forge a new order, one entirely free from the suffocating influence of the greater will. Her rejection of the Golden Order was complete, and she sought to establish an alternative, a path that would lead the lands between into an age of true freedom and individual destiny. This was a monumental undertaking, requiring not only immense power, but also a profound understanding of the cosmic forces at play. Her plans were complex, involving ancient rituals and forbidden knowledge, all aimed at severing the ties that bound the world to the greater will and its oppressive Golden Order. Naturally, Ranni's defiance did not go unnoticed by the greater will. Recognizing the immense threat she posed to their dominion, the Two Fingers, the primary conduits of the greater will's influence in the lands between, dispatched a powerful agent to eliminate her, the Baleful Shadow. This creature, a grotesque and formidable manifestation of the Two Fingers' will, was sent with a singular purpose: to hunt down and destroy Ranni, thereby neutralizing the burgeoning rebellion against the established divine order. The Baleful Shadow represented the greater will's desperate attempt to maintain control, to crush any dissent before it could truly take root. However, Ranni, with the aid of her loyal companions and the Tarnished, proved to be far more formidable than the Two Fingers had anticipated. The Baleful Shadow was ultimately defeated, a significant victory for Ranni that demonstrated her growing strength and the unwavering commitment of her allies. This triumph was not merely a physical victory, it was a symbolic one, showcasing Ranni's ability to resist and overcome the direct interventions of the greater will, further solidifying her resolve to forge her own destiny. Following this crucial victory, Ranni embarked on a perilous journey to retrieve the Fingerslayer Blade. This legendary artifact, steeped in ancient power, was hidden deep within Nokron, the Eternal City, a subterranean metropolis that had been cast into shadow and ruin by the greater will long ago. The Fingerslayer Blade was not merely a weapon, it was a ceremonial tool, imbued with the power to sever the connection between an Empyrean and their two fingers, thereby freeing them from the greater will's control. Ranni's quest for this blade was a pivotal step in her plan, a direct act of defiance against the divine authority that sought to dictate her fate. By acquiring and utilizing the Fingerslayer Blade, Ranni intended to irrevocably break her ties to the Two Fingers, liberating herself from the predetermined path laid out for her by the greater will, and allowing her to pursue her own vision for the lands between. This act was a declaration of independence, a definitive rejection of her role as an Empyrean beholden to an external deity. With her ties to the Two Fingers severed, Ranni was free to pursue her ultimate goal, to commune with the Dark Moon, an outer god whose influence offered a stark alternative to the Golden Order. Unlike the Greater Will, which sought to impose a rigid and unchanging order, the Dark Moon represented a path of quiet contemplation, individual freedom, and a more subtle, mystical approach to existence. Ranni's communion with the Dark Moon was not a mere act of worship, but a strategic alliance, a means to harness a different cosmic power to establish her new age. This partnership was central to her vision, providing the divine backing necessary to challenge the entrenched power of the Greater Will and usher in a new era for the lands between. The Dark Moon's tenets resonated deeply with Ranni's desire for a world where individuals could chart their own course, unburdened by the dictates of an external, controlling deity. This communion was the culmination of her long-held ambitions, the final piece of the puzzle in her intricate plan to reshape the destiny of the world. Ranni's ultimate fate, should her plan succeed, involves ascending as the goddess of the Dark Moon. This ascension would not be a mere change of title, but a fundamental shift in the cosmic balance of power, offering a profound alternative to Marika's Golden Order. As the goddess of the Dark Moon, Ranni would preside over an age of stars, a period characterized by a veiled and mysterious night sky, where the influence of the Greater Will would wane, and the world would be guided by the quiet wisdom of the cosmos. This new age would prioritize individual freedom and introspection over rigid dogma, allowing the denizens of the lands between to forge their own paths and discover their own truths, rather than adhering to a predetermined divine decree. Ranni's vision was not to replace one oppressive regime with another, but to usher in an era of true liberation, where the world would be free from the constant meddling of external gods. Her reign as the goddess of the dark moon would be a testament to her unwavering resolve, her profound intelligence, and her ultimate triumph over the forces that sought to control her destiny and the destiny of the entire world. It would be an age of quiet majesty, a stark contrast to the tumultuous and war-torn era that preceded it, a testament to the power of choice and the enduring spirit of defiance. The embers of the Shattering War had just begun to cool, leaving a scarred landscape and a power vacuum that beckoned the ambitious. It is during this tumultuous period, the very heart of the Shattering, that we arrive at one of the most pivotal and darkly orchestrated events in the history of the lands between, the Night of Black Knives. This was not merely an act of violence, but a meticulously planned ritual of defiance, born from the disillusionment of one of the most powerful figures in the demigod lineage. Ranni, the Lunar Princess, an Empyrean chosen by the Two Fingers to one day succeed Marika as a god, had long harbored a profound disdain for the Greater Will, the enigmatic outer god that dictated the fate of the lands between through its Golden Order. She viewed this divine influence as an oppressive force, a gilded cage that stifled true freedom and self-determination. Her destiny, as an Empyrean, was to become a vessel for the Greater Will, a fate she vehemently rejected. To sever this predetermined path, to truly be free, Ranni conceived a plan so audacious, so heretical, that it would shatter the very foundations of the Golden Order. She sought to overthrow the gods, not through direct combat, but by dismantling the very concept of divinity as it was understood, beginning with her own. To achieve this impossible feat, Ranni knew she could not act alone. She needed agents, shadows capable of striking at the heart of the divine order without leaving a trace of her direct involvement. Her gaze fell upon a clandestine group known as the Black Knife Assassins. These were not mere killers for hire. They were Numen, a race of mysterious, long-lived beings said to originate from outside the lands between, much like Queen Marika herself. The Numen harbored their own deep-seated grievances against the Erdtree's dominion, a silent resentment that simmered beneath the surface of the Golden Order's supposed peace. Their heritage, their inherent otherness, made them the perfect instruments for Ranni's dark designs. They were already outsiders, already predisposed to rebellion against the established powers, and their skills in stealth and assassination were unparalleled. Ranni, with her cunning intellect and persuasive charm, forged a clandestine alliance with these shadowy figures, promising them a future free from the suffocating embrace of the Golden Order, a future where their own ancient traditions might once again flourish. The key to Ranni's intricate plot lay in a power-long thought sealed away, the Rune of Death. This fragment of the Elden Ring, representing the very concept of true death, had been entrusted to Maliketh the Black Blade, Marika's half-brother and shadow-bound beast, who guarded it fiercely in Farum Azula. It was believed to be utterly inaccessible, a power too dangerous to ever be unleashed upon the world again. Yet Ranni, through means still shrouded in mystery, managed to steal a fragment of this forbidden rune. This was no small feat, requiring either immense power, unparalleled stealth, or perhaps even a betrayal from within Maliketh's own ancient order. With this stolen fragment, Ranni imbued the weapons of the Black Knife Assassins. This was the crucial element that transformed them from skilled killers into instruments of divine demise. Ordinary blades could fell mortals, but only a weapon imbued with the Rune of Death could truly kill a demigod, severing their connection to the Erdtree's grace and ensuring their permanent demise, both body and soul. Under the cloak of a moonless night, the Black Knife Assassins made their move. Their target, Lendel, the royal capital, the very heart of the Golden Order. The city was a fortress, protected by powerful enchantments and the watchful eyes of countless sentinels. But the new men possessed a unique advantage. Their heritage, their ancient bloodline, allowed them to bypass divine defenses that would repel any other intruder. They moved like ghosts through the hallowed halls, their black cloaks blending with the shadows, their movements silent as the grave. Their objective was clear, and their resolve unwavering. Their primary target was Godwyn the Golden, the firstborn son of Queen Marika and Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. Godwyn was not just any demigod. He was the beloved champion of the Golden Order, a figure of immense popularity and respect, renowned for his valiant deeds in the war against the dragons. His death would send shockwaves throughout the lands between, a symbolic strike at the very heart of the Erd Tree's authority. The assassins infiltrated his chambers, their rune of death-imbued blades glinting ominously in the dim light. In a swift, brutal assault, they assassinated Godwyn the Golden, leaving his body a testament to their deadly efficiency and the terrifying power they now wielded. But the Night of Black Knives was not merely an assassination, it was a ritual of dual sacrifice. Simultaneously, as Godwyn's life was extinguished, Ranni orchestrated her own death. High atop the divine tower of Liurnia, a place of immense arcane power and celestial alignment, Ranni used the very same stolen fragment of the Rune of Death to slay her physical Empyrean body. This was not an act of suicide in the traditional sense, but a calculated severing. Her goal was not to die, but to escape the fate imposed upon her by the greater will. By using the Rune of Death, she ensured that her physical form, the vessel destined for godhood, would perish, while her soul, her true self, would escape its mortal confines. This was a death of the body, but a liberation of the spirit, a daring act of self-mutilation for the sake of ultimate freedom. The consequences of this night were immediate and catastrophic. Godwyn's soul, struck by the full power of the Rune of Death, was utterly destroyed. There was no chance of resurrection, no hope of reunion with the Erd Tree. However, a horrifying anomaly occurred. His body, though lifeless, did not truly die. Instead, it was left in a grotesque, undeath state, a twisted mockery of life. This corrupted form, neither living nor truly dead, became the genesis of those who live in death. A blight that would spread across the lands between, forever altering the natural cycle of life and death. Godwyn the Golden, the paragon of the Golden Order, became the first of these abominations, his very existence a testament to the perversion of death itself. Ranni's discarded body, a lifeless husk bearing the brand of the Rune of Death, was discovered atop the divine tower of Liurnia. It was found cradled by her loyal, shadow-bound beast, Blaidd, who was utterly devastated by the apparent loss of his mistress. Unaware of her survival in spirit form, Blaidd mourned deeply, his grief a testament to his unwavering loyalty and the effectiveness of Ranni's deception. The sight of the slain Empyrean, a symbol of hope and future divinity, sent shockwaves of despair through those who believed in the Golden Order. The death of Godwyn, the beloved demigod, was the final, unbearable blow to Queen Marika. Overwhelmed by grief and incandescent with rage at the sacrilege committed against her son and the very principles of the Golden Order, Marika shattered the Elden Ring. This cataclysmic act, born from anguish and fury, plunged the lands between into an era of unprecedented chaos and war, known as the Shattering. The world, once held together by the divine order of the Erd Tree, fractured into 1,000 pieces, each demigod vying for control, each driven by their own ambitions and interpretations of the shattered divine will. The Night of Black Knives, therefore, was not just an assassination, it was the spark that ignited the complete collapse of the Golden Order, ushering in an age of endless conflict and despair, a world ripe for the Tarnished to finally return. With Ranni's soul now freed from her corporeal form, and Godwyn's soul extinguished while his body remained. The immediate aftermath of the Night of Black Knives plunged the lands between into chaos. As the Golden Order struggled to comprehend this unprecedented act of deicide, Ranni, ever the strategist, had already taken steps to secure her own future. Her great rune, a fragment of the Elden Ring representing the moon and stars, and thus her divine lineage, was not left vulnerable. Instead, it was carefully hidden within the divine tower of Liurnia, a towering edifice of ancient design, sealed away from the prying eyes and grasping ambitions of the other demigods. This strategic move ensured that, even if her physical form was gone, her claim to power, albeit a spiritual one, remained intact and protected. The other demigods, embroiled in their own burgeoning conflicts and vying for control of the remaining great runes, were largely unaware of this hidden power, allowing Ranni to operate in the shadows, her cosmic influence subtly at play. Meanwhile, the Black Knife assassins, having fulfilled their gruesome task, did not remain a unified force. They scattered to the winds, their dark deeds leaving a trail of terror. Some, particularly those who had directly wielded the Rune of Death, found themselves relentlessly hunted by Malekith, the Black Blade. Malekith, the shadow-bound beast of Queen Marika and keeper of the Rune of Death, was consumed by a righteous fury, seeking to reclaim the stolen power and punish those who had defiled it. His pursuit was brutal and unyielding, a testament to his unwavering loyalty to Marika and his role as the ultimate arbiter of death. Other assassins, however, managed to vanish into the deeper shadows of the lands between, their identities and motives becoming shrouded in mystery, their presence a lingering threat and a testament to the effectiveness of their clandestine network. The true horror of Godwyn's fate, however, was yet to fully manifest. His corrupted corpse, though soulless, remained a powerful vessel, a macabre monument to the stolen Rune of Death. From this desecrated form, a virulent blight began to spread. Deathroot. This insidious corruption, a manifestation of undeath, permeated the very soil of the lands between, reaching deep into the earth and tainting the roots of the Erd tree itself, the colossal golden tree that symbolized the Golden Order's divine authority. The Erd tree, once a beacon of life and grace, now harbored a creeping corruption within its foundations. This spreading deathroot had a profound and terrifying consequence. It birthed necromantic cults, groups of individuals who, drawn to the dark power emanating from Godwyn's corpse, began to worship death itself. These cults, such as the Those Who Live in Death, sought to harness the power of undeath, blurring the lines between life and death, and further destabilizing the already fractured society of the lands between. Their existence was a direct and horrifying consequence of Ranni's actions, a grim legacy of the Night of Black Knives. Ranni, now a spirit without a physical body, understood that her path to the Age of Stars required a complete severance from the existing divine order, specifically from the influence of the Two Fingers, the silent emissaries of the Greater Will. To achieve this, she embarked on a perilous journey, her ethereal form traveling to the subterranean city of Nokron, the Eternal City. Nokron, a realm of ancient wonders and forgotten knowledge, held the key to her liberation, the Fingerslayer Blade. This legendary weapon, forged by the denizens of Nokron in defiance of the Greater Will, possessed the unique ability to slay a Two Fingers, thereby severing the connection between an Empyrean and their divine masters. Ranni's quest for the Fingerslayer Blade was a bold and dangerous undertaking, a clear declaration of her intent to forge her own destiny, free from the dictates of any outer god. Her journey into the depths of Nokron was a testament to her unwavering resolve and her willingness to defy even the highest powers in the cosmos. Even as Ranni pursued her radical path, she was not alone. Her most loyal allies, individuals bound to her by unwavering devotion and a shared vision, began to work in secret to aid her new path toward the Age of Stars. Among these were Preceptor Seluvis, a cunning and manipulative sorcerer, whose true allegiances were often shrouded in mystery, but whose loyalty to Ranni, for his own complex reasons, remained steadfast. Seluvis, with his vast knowledge of sorcery and his network of informants, became instrumental in gathering information and manipulating events from the shadows. Then there was the formidable warrior Iji, a towering giant and a master blacksmith, whose unwavering loyalty to the Carian royal family, and specifically to Ranni, ran deeper than any other. Iji, with his immense strength and strategic mind, served as Ranni's protector and confidant, ensuring her safety and providing practical support for her ambitious plans. Together, this clandestine network of allies laid the groundwork for Ranni's ultimate ascension, their actions often subtle and unseen, yet crucial to the unfolding of her grand design. The Two Fingers, the silent and ancient conduits of the greater will, were not oblivious to Ranni's defiance. As Empyreans, individuals chosen by the greater will to potentially succeed Marika as a god, Ranni was bound to their will. Her actions, particularly the theft of the Rune of Death and the subsequent shattering of her own body, constituted an unprecedented act of betrayal. Realizing the gravity of her defiance and the threat she posed to their divine order, the Two Fingers issued a chilling command. They ordered Blaidd, Ranni's loyal shadowbound beast, to kill her. Blaidd, a half-wolf warrior created by the greater will to serve and protect his Empyrean, found himself in an agonizing predicament. His very existence was intrinsically linked to Ranni, and his loyalty to her was absolute, forged through years of companionship and shared purpose. Despite the overwhelming influence of the Two Fingers, Blaidd resisted their control. His deep loyalty to Ranni, a bond that transcended even the will of an outer god, created an internal struggle of immense proportions. He could not bring himself to harm the one he was sworn to protect, a testament to the strength of his personal devotion over the dictates of his divine creators. This internal conflict would ultimately define Blaidd's tragic fate, highlighting the profound and often conflicting loyalties within the intricate web of the lands between. Ranni's audacious actions, particularly the Night of the Black Knives and her subsequent defiance of the greater will, sent shockwaves through the demigod hierarchy. Her choices created a profound schism among the demigods, further fracturing the already unstable political landscape of the lands between. While some, like Malenia and Miquella, were focused on their own internal struggles and ambitions, others reacted more directly to Ranni's rebellion. Radagon, the Star-Scourge general, a demigod of immense power and pride, saw Ranni's meddling with the stars as a direct challenge to his own cosmic authority. His ambition to conquer the stars and his deep-seated belief in his own destiny put him at odds with Ranni's vision for the Age of Stars. Similarly, Rykard, the Lord of Blasphemy, driven by his own nihilistic philosophy and a desire to devour the very gods, pursued his own dark ambitions during the Shattering, seeing Ranni's actions as another opportunity to sow chaos and undermine the established order. The Night of the Black Knives, therefore, became a catalyst, accelerating the conflicts and ambitions that would ultimately define the devastating period known as the Shattering. Each demigod, in their own way, reacted to Ranni's defiance, further splintering the once unified Golden Order and plunging the lands between into an era of unprecedented warfare and destruction. The Night of the Black Knives, despite its profound impact, quickly became a forbidden legend, a whispered tale relegated to the darkest corners of history. The Golden Order, desperate to maintain its authority and suppress any knowledge that might challenge its divine narrative, actively suppressed knowledge of Ranni's involvement. They understood that revealing the truth, that an Empyrean had orchestrated the death of a demigod and defied the greater will, would shatter the faith of their followers and expose the fragility of their rule. Therefore, the official narrative focused on the assassins themselves, portraying them as rogue elements driven by unknown motives, carefully omitting any mention of Ranni. This suppression of truth led to a distorted historical record, where the true architects of this pivotal event remained hidden in plain sight. The Golden Order's efforts to control the narrative were extensive, ensuring that any mention of Ranni's name in connection with the Night of the Black Knives was met with swift and severe punishment, effectively erasing her from the public consciousness in relation to this pivotal event. Ultimately, Ranni's spirit, having successfully severed her ties to her physical form and the two fingers, needed a new vessel, a new means to interact with the world and pursue her grand vision. She found refuge in a puppet body, meticulously crafted to resemble her mentor, the enigmatic Snow Witch. This puppet, imbued with a lifelike quality, became her new physical manifestation, allowing her to move and act in the lands between without being bound by the constraints of a mortal body or the influence of the greater will. This new form allowed her to operate in secrecy, her true identity hidden behind the guise of the Snow Witch. She established her hidden sanctuary within the ruins of Carian Manor, a place steeped in ancient magic and shielded by powerful enchantments. From this secluded location, Ranni, now in her puppet form, began to orchestrate her plans for the Age of Stars, patiently waiting for the opportune moment to reveal herself and reshape the destiny of the lands between. Her transformation into the puppet Snow Witch marked a crucial turning point, allowing her to navigate the treacherous political landscape of the Shattering with unparalleled cunning and strategic foresight. This new form was not merely a disguise, but a symbol of her rebirth and her unwavering commitment to an independent destiny, free from the constraints of the old order. Following the tumultuous events of the Shattering, our timeline now brings us to the pivotal period of the post-Shattering era, specifically the Shadow War, where the true machinations of Ranni the Witch begin to unfold. This is the era we've termed the Lunar Conspiracy, a period defined by Ranni's audacious defiance and her strategic maneuvers to reshape the very fabric of the lands between. Ranni, once an Empyrean, a demigod chosen by the greater will and destined to become a god, made a monumental decision. She renounced her Empyrean status, a choice that reverberated through the cosmic order. Her motivation was clear: to escape the suffocating influence of the Two Fingers, the envoys of the greater will that dictated the destinies of Empyreans. To Ranni, this was not merely a rebellion, but a quest for true freedom, a desire to forge her own fate rather than be a puppet of an unseen cosmic entity. This act of renunciation was a direct challenge to the established divine order, a declaration of independence from the Golden Order itself, the dominant religious and political power in the lands between, centered around the Erd Tree and the Greater Will. With her departure from the Golden Order, Ranni did not simply vanish into obscurity. Instead, she embraced a new, enigmatic power, the Dark Moon. This celestial body, shrouded in mystery and associated with ancient magic, became her new patron. She established her rise as the Witch serving the Dark Moon, a title that solidified her break from the Golden Order and aligned her with a more primordial, less understood cosmic force. The Dark Moon, in contrast to the Golden Order's rigid dogma, offered Ranni a path of freedom and self-determination, a path she was determined to carve for herself and, ultimately, for the lands between. This embrace of the Dark Moon was not a mere symbolic gesture. It represented a fundamental shift in her magical allegiance and her philosophical outlook, moving away from the light of the Erd Tree towards the cool, calculating glow of the night sky. As any ambitious leader knows, a vision, no matter how profound, requires loyal allies. Ranni, understanding this implicitly, began to gather her inner circle. Foremost among them was Blaidd, her shadow. In the world of the lands between, a shadow is a beastman companion gifted to Empyreans by the Two Fingers, bound to their charge and fiercely loyal. Blaidd, though bound to Ranni by the very entities she sought to defy, remained fiercely devoted to her cause. His loyalty was not born of compulsion, but of genuine affection and respect for Ranni's vision. He served as her protector, her enforcer, and her confidant, a towering figure of strength and unwavering commitment. His presence was a stark reminder of the Finger's lingering influence, yet also a testament to Ranni's ability to inspire loyalty even in those designed to serve her cosmic overseers. Blaidd's unique position, being both a gift from the Fingers and a loyal servant to their enemy, highlights the complex and often contradictory nature of allegiances in this fractured world. His commitment to Ranni transcended his initial programming, evolving into a personal devotion that would define much of his tragic narrative. Beyond brute strength, Ranni also recognized the need for intellect and craftsmanship. She enlisted Iji, a master blacksmith of the Carian royal family, a lineage known for its sorcery and skilled artisans. Iji, a towering figure himself, became the quartermaster and armorer for Ranni's nascent faction. His role was crucial, to craft weapons and armor for her allies, ensuring they were equipped for the inevitable conflict. More importantly, Iji was entrusted with safeguarding Ranni's deepest secrets, a testament to her profound trust in him. His workshop, often hidden away, became a hub of clandestine activity, producing the tools necessary for Ranni's revolution. Iji's quiet wisdom and unparalleled skill made him an invaluable asset, a steadfast pillar of support in Ranni's intricate web of conspiracies. His knowledge of ancient smithing techniques and his unwavering loyalty provided a practical foundation for Ranni's more mystical pursuits, bridging the gap between magical ambition and tangible power. He was not just a craftsman, but a strategist in his own right, offering counsel and perspective that balanced Ranni's often audacious plans. Ranni's defiance, however, did not go unnoticed. The two Fingers, the very entities that had bestowed upon her the Empyrean title, turned against her. Her renunciation of their will, her embrace of the Dark Moon, and her growing power were seen as an intolerable affront. They marked her as a traitor to the Golden Order, effectively excommunicating her from their divine favor and condemning her as an enemy of the established cosmic hierarchy. This condemnation was not merely symbolic, it carried with it the full weight of the Greater Will's displeasure, transforming Ranni from a chosen one into a pariah, a target for those who still adhered to the Golden Order's tenets. This divine rejection solidified Ranni's path as an adversary, leaving her no choice but to fully commit to her alternative vision for the lands between. The Fingers' judgment was a declaration of war, not just against Ranni, but against any who dared to question their absolute authority. To further sever her ties and escape the direct influence of the Fingers, Ranni undertook a radical transformation. She abandoned her Empyrean flesh, the physical body that bound her to the Greater Will's design. In its place, her spirit inhabited a doll, meticulously crafted in the likeness of her mentor, the enigmatic Snow Witch. This act was more than a mere change of form. It was a profound ritual of self-liberation. By forsaking her original body, Ranni believed she could escape the fate preordained for her by the two Fingers, becoming truly free. The doll, a vessel of wood and cloth, became her new physical manifestation, a symbol of her independence and her embrace of a more ethereal existence. The choice of her mentor's likeness for the doll was a nod to the origins of her magical training and a subtle tribute to the guidance that had set her on this path of defiance. This spiritual translocation was a critical step in her plan, allowing her to operate outside the direct perception and control of the Greater Will's agents. With her new form and her loyal allies in place, Ranni orchestrated the most pivotal event of this era, the Night of the Black Knives. This clandestine operation was executed by the Black Knife Assassins, a shadowy group of female warriors, believed to be Numen, an ancient race distinct from humanity, with ties to Marika herself. Under Ranni's direction, these assassins infiltrated the capital and slew Godwyn the Golden, Marika's firstborn and a beloved demigod. This act was not merely an assassination, it was a ritualistic murder, as Godwyn's soul, but not his body, was killed. This partial death had catastrophic consequences, shattering the Elden Ring itself, the very source of order and stability in the lands between. The purpose of this audacious act was multifaceted: to break the Golden Order's hold, to initiate a new age, and to sever the connection between the Greater Will and the lands between. The Night of the Black Knives was the catalyst for the Shattering, plunging the world into chaos and setting the stage for the subsequent wars and the rise of the Tarnished. Ranni's role in this event, though initially hidden, reveals the depth of her strategic brilliance and her willingness to commit to drastic measures for her ultimate goal. The precise nature of Godwyn's death, the killing of his soul while his body remained, created a unique form of undeath, a blight that would spread across the lands between, manifesting as those who live in death. This was a deliberate consequence, a means to further destabilize the existing order and pave the way for Ranni's new age. Following the Night of the Black Knives, Ranni executed another critical maneuver. She faked her own death. Her physical body, the Empyrean flesh she had abandoned, was found lifeless atop the divine tower of Liurnia. This public display served a crucial purpose: to convince the Two Fingers and the Golden Order that she was no longer a threat, effectively removing herself from their immediate pursuit. By leaving her physical body, she severed her last remaining ties to the Fingers, ensuring that her spirit, now residing in the doll, could operate with greater freedom and secrecy. This elaborate deception was a masterstroke, allowing her to disappear from the immediate gaze of her enemies and continue her work from the shadows. The image of her lifeless body atop the tower, a stark silhouette against the sky, became a powerful symbol of the fractured world, a testament to the devastating consequences of the Night of the Black Knives. With her death faked and her enemies temporarily misled, Ranni retreated to the secluded Three Sisters region, a mystical area known for its ancient magic and isolation. Here, amidst the towering spires and ethereal glow, she established her new base of operations, Ranni's Rise. This tower, a testament to her Carian heritage, became the nerve center of her ongoing conspiracy, a place where she could continue to plot and plan, shielded from the prying eyes of the Golden Order. From this hidden sanctuary, Ranni, now fully embodied in her doll form, would continue to guide her loyal followers, working tirelessly towards her ultimate goal: the establishment of an Age of Stars, an era free from the dictates of the Greater Will. This retreat marked the beginning of a new phase in her plan, a period of quiet consolidation and strategic preparation, as the lands between descended further into the chaos she had so carefully orchestrated. This is where we leave Ranni for now, a shadowy figure pulling strings from her isolated tower, her eyes fixed on the distant stars, patiently awaiting the opportune moment to fully reveal her grand design. Ranni's clandestine operations intensified, her gaze now fixed upon an object of immense power and profound significance: the Fingerslayer Blade. This mythical weapon, whispered about in hushed tones across the lands between, was not merely a sword, but a tool specifically crafted to inflict harm upon the Greater Will's emissaries, the Two Fingers. Its very existence was a defiance, a testament to an ancient rebellion against cosmic dominion. Ranni understood that to truly break free, she needed a weapon that could not only sever her connection to the Greater Will, but also symbolically, and perhaps literally, wound its agents. The search for this elusive artifact became her immediate priority, a crucial step in her audacious plan. To that end, Ranni dispatched her most trusted companions, the loyal half-wolf Blaidd and the wise war counselor Iji, to scour the ancient subterranean realms known as the Eternal Cities. These hidden metropolises, remnants of civilizations that once challenged the Greater Will, were believed to hold secrets and artifacts long forgotten by the surface world. Blaidd, with his unparalleled tracking abilities and combat prowess, was tasked with physically investigating the ruins, delving into their shadowed depths. Iji, with his vast knowledge of history and lore, would analyze ancient texts and decipher cryptic clues, piecing together the fragmented history of the Eternal Cities and their connection to the Fingerslayer Blade. Their mission was fraught with peril, for the Eternal Cities were not merely ruins, but also repositories of forbidden knowledge and guardians of dangerous entities, remnants of a forgotten age. It was during this critical juncture, as her agents delved into the Earth's forgotten places, that Ranni encountered the Tarnished. This arrival, seemingly coincidental, was in truth a nexus point, a convergence of destinies. Ranni, ever perceptive and possessing a deep understanding of the threads of fate, immediately recognized the Tarnished's latent potential. She sensed within them a spirit unburdened by the Golden Order's dogma, a will capable of challenging the established order. She saw not merely a warrior, but a vessel for change, an individual whose actions could tip the scales in her favor. This recognition was not based on prophecy alone, but on a keen observation of their journey, their resilience, and their burgeoning power. The Tarnished, unlike many others, possessed the unique ability to defy the predetermined paths laid out by the Greater Will, making them an invaluable, if unwitting, ally in her grand design for freedom. With the Tarnished's arrival, Ranni's strategy shifted. Instead of relying solely on Blaidd and Iji's prolonged search, she directly tasked the Tarnished with a pivotal mission: to retrieve the Fingerslayer Blade from Nokron, the Eternal City. This was a deliberate choice, a test of their capabilities and a direct insertion into the heart of her conspiracy. Nokron, a city shrouded in mystery and guarded by formidable constructs, was believed to be the Blade's final resting place. The journey to Nokron was perilous, requiring the Tarnished to navigate treacherous landscapes, overcome ancient guardians, and unravel the city's cryptic defenses. Ranni provided guidance, but the ultimate success of the mission rested squarely on the Tarnished's shoulders, a testament to her faith in their potential. Upon the successful retrieval of the Fingerslayer Blade, a pivotal moment arrived for Ranni. It was then, standing before the Tarnished, with the weapon of liberation in her possession, that she chose to reveal the full scope of her motivations. Her voice, usually calm and measured, carried a newfound intensity as she articulated her profound desire to forge a new age, an era utterly free from the oppressive control of the Greater Will and its emissaries, the Two Fingers. She spoke of the Golden Order's tyranny, its rigid doctrines, and its stifling influence over the lives of all in the lands between. She painted a vivid picture of a world where individuals could chart their own destinies, unbound by cosmic decree. Her vision was not one of chaos, but of true freedom, of a world governed by the quiet wisdom of the moon, a stark contrast to the blinding light of the Erd tree. This revelation was a calculated risk, a bid for the Tarnished's unwavering loyalty, an appeal to their own burgeoning desire for self-determination. She laid bare her soul, revealing the depth of her commitment to this revolutionary path. However, the path to liberation was not without its tragic costs. The Greater Will, sensing Ranni's growing power and the imminent threat to its dominion, began to exert its insidious influence. Blaidd, Ranni's steadfast protector and loyal shadow, became a victim of this cosmic manipulation. The Two Fingers, unable to directly confront Ranni, twisted Blaidd's very being, exploiting his innate loyalty and his half-wolf nature. They instilled within him a maddening fury, a primal urge to protect the Golden Order, turning him against the very person he had sworn to defend. Blaidd, once a beacon of unwavering devotion, succumbed to this dark influence, his mind ravaged, his loyalty perverted. He became feral, a tragic puppet of the Greater Will, his howls echoing the torment within his soul. This forced Ranni to confront her loyal protector, a heart-wrenching ordeal that underscored the brutal reality of her struggle. To ensure the success of her plan, and in a desperate act of mercy, she was forced to put down her dearest companion. A profound sacrifice that left an indelible scar on her heart. The death of Blaidd was a stark reminder of the immense power and cruelty of the forces she opposed. The sacrifices continued. Iji, the wise and loyal war counselor, also recognized the escalating threat. He understood that the Greater Will's agents, the Black Knife Assassins, were closing in, seeking to uncover Ranni's secrets and dismantle her conspiracy. To protect Ranni's plans and ensure the continued momentum of her rebellion, Iji made the ultimate sacrifice. in a final act of profound loyalty and defiance, he orchestrated his own fiery demise, burning himself alive amidst the spectral flames of his forge. This self-immolation was not an act of despair, but a calculated maneuver. By destroying himself and his workshop, Iji ensured that no incriminating evidence, no vital information, could fall into the hands of the Greater Will's spies. His sacrifice bought Ranni precious time, allowing her to complete the final stages of her ritual without interruption. It was a testament to his unwavering devotion, a final act of protection for the mistress he served with such profound loyalty. With the Fingerslayer Blade in her possession, and the tragic sacrifices of her loyal companions weighing heavily on her heart, Ranni ascended to the moonlight altar. This sacred site, bathed in the ethereal glow of the full moon, was the culmination of her arduous journey. Here, she confronted the two fingers, the physical manifestations of the Greater Will's dominion. In a powerful and symbolic act, she used the Fingerslayer Blade to sever her connection to these cosmic overlords. This was not merely a physical act, but a spiritual and metaphysical liberation, a profound breaking of the chains that had bound her since birth. The act resonated through the fabric of the lands between, a declaration of independence that echoed across the stars. Finally, with her freedom secured and the Greater Will's influence over her irrevocably broken, Ranni embarked on her true destiny. Accompanied by the Tarnished, who had proven themselves to be a steadfast and invaluable ally, she journeyed to the stars. This was not a mere physical departure, but a symbolic ascent, a rejection of the terrestrial world and its worn-out traditions. Leaving the lands between behind, she sought to forge a new path, a new order, under the guiding light of the dark moon. This was the dawn of the Age of Stars, an era of quiet contemplation, of individual freedom, and of a cosmic ballet governed by the gentle, enigmatic glow of the moon. Her journey with the Tarnished into the cosmos marked the beginning of a new chapter, not just for Ranni, but for the very fabric of existence, a testament to the power of defiance and the pursuit of true liberation. Having established the intricate machinations of the lunar conspiracy and Ranni's calculated retreat from the Golden Order, we now arrive at the present age, a period marked by the convergence of various destinies and, crucially, the arrival of the Tarnished. This era, in the grand tapestry of the lands between, unfolds as the final act of Ranni's long-laid plans, a period where her carefully cultivated rebellion finally blossoms into open defiance. It is here, amidst the ruins of a broken world, that the catalyst for profound change emerges, an unwitting champion whose journey will inextricably intertwine with Ranni's own. The first threads of this fated encounter are woven at the venerable church of Eller, a hallowed, if dilapidated sanctuary, often among the initial discoveries for any newly arrived Tarnished. Here, under the watchful gaze of the celestial bodies, the Tarnished, a warrior stripped of grace and returned from the distant foglands, encounters a spectral presence. This ethereal figure, shimmering with an otherworldly blue light, introduces herself simply as Ranni. Her voice, though soft, carries an ancient authority, hinting at a power far beyond her ghostly manifestation. It is during this initial meeting that Ranni bestows upon the Tarnished a crucial artifact, the Spirit Calling Bell. This bell, a relic of profound significance in the lands between, allows its wielder to summon the spirits of fallen warriors, beasts, and even ordinary folk to aid them in battle. This gift is not merely an act of generosity, but a strategic overture, a subtle invitation into Ranni's hidden world, and a demonstration of her unique connection to the spiritual realm, a realm largely ignored or even suppressed by the rigid doctrines of the Golden Order. With the bell, Ranni also provides the initial impetus for her questline, setting the Tarnished on a path that will ultimately reshape the very fabric of their reality. The true nature of Ranni's ambition begins to unfold as she tasks the Tarnished with a perilous undertaking, the retrieval of the Fingerslayer Blade. This legendary weapon, shrouded in myth and whispered about in hushed tones, is said to be capable of inflicting harm upon the two fingers themselves, the silent titanic emissaries of the greater will. The Blade's location is a closely guarded secret, hidden deep within Nokron, the Eternal City, a subterranean metropolis lost to time and legend. This task immediately elevates the Tarnished's journey beyond mere questing for a great rune, placing them squarely in the crosshairs of cosmic conflict. Ranni's choice of the Fingerslayer Blade is deliberate and deeply symbolic. It represents the ultimate tool for severing the influence of the greater will, a physical manifestation of her desire for self-determination and the freedom of the lands between from external divine intervention. The very existence of such a weapon, capable of harming beings as powerful as the Two Fingers, underscores the depth of the ancient rebellion against the greater will, a rebellion that Ranni now seeks to rekindle. However, access to Nokron, the Eternal City, is not easily granted. The path to this hidden realm lies obstructed by a monumental cosmic anomaly, the fallen stars that litter the landscape of Caelid. These celestial bodies, frozen in their descent, are a direct consequence of the might of Starscourge Radagon, one of the most formidable demigods and a son of Marika. Radagon, in his prime, had mastered gravity magic to such an extent that he halted the very movement of the stars, preventing the fate of the lands between from unfolding as ordained by the cosmos. To reach Nokron, therefore, the Tarnished must first confront and defeat this demigod. The ensuing battle in the desolate, scarlet-rotted wastes of Caelid is a testament to the Tarnished's growing power and resolve. With Radagon's defeat, a cataclysmic event unfolds. The stars, freed from his gravitational mastery, resume their celestial dance. This cosmic reawakening is not merely a visual spectacle, but a pivotal moment as one of the falling stars crashes into the lands between, tearing a gaping chasm in the earth. This newly formed crater, a direct consequence of Radagon's demise, and the star's resumed movement, serves as the long-sought entrance to Nokron, the Eternal City. The interconnectedness of these events, from Ranni's initial request to the defeat of a demigod and the subsequent cosmic shift, highlights the intricate web of fate that Ranni has so carefully manipulated. With the path to Nokron finally revealed, the Tarnished descends into the depths of the earth, entering a world untouched by the Golden Order, a city of shimmering silver and ancient secrets. Nokron, the Eternal City, is a hauntingly beautiful testament to a civilization that once defied the greater will. Its architecture, distinct and ethereal, speaks of a people, the Numen, who sought to forge their own destiny, free from the dictates of external gods. The Tarnished navigates its labyrinthine passages, battling spectral inhabitants and ancient constructs until they reach the Night's sacred ground. This hallowed yet chilling locale is where the Fingerslayer Blade is finally discovered. The blade itself is not merely a weapon, but a relic steeped in the history of the Numen and their rebellion. Its very composition, likely forged from the very essence of the stars or some other anti-greater will material, signifies its potency against divine influence. The retrieval of this blade marks a critical turning point, providing Ranni with the means to enact the most audacious part of her plan. Upon obtaining the Fingerslayer Blade, the Tarnished returns to Ranni's Rise, the towering edifice that serves as Ranni's secluded sanctuary. Here, in the quiet solitude of her study, the Tarnished presents the ancient weapon to Ranni. Her reaction is one of quiet triumph, a subtle acknowledgement of a long-awaited victory. It is at this moment that Ranni sheds her enigmatic veil, revealing the full scope of her ambition and the true nature of her rebellion. She confides in the Tarnished her unwavering intent to slay her own Two Fingers, the very emissaries of the greater will assigned to her. This act, she explains, is not merely an act of defiance, but a necessary step to sever her ties to the greater will entirely, to break free from the predetermined path laid out for her as an Empyrean. Her goal is to forge a new destiny, not just for herself, but for the lands between. A destiny free from the oppressive influence of external gods. This revelation underscores the profound courage and conviction of Ranni, a demigod willing to challenge the very cosmic order that dictates her existence. Following this momentous confession, a strange and unsettling event occurs. Ranni's spirit, the ethereal blue form that has guided the Tarnished thus far, departs her doll body. The doll, a meticulously crafted effigy that Ranni inhabits, slumps lifelessly, leaving behind a cryptic message. This message, often interpreted as a final farewell or a promise of future reunion, speaks of Ranni's destiny, a path that now takes her beyond the physical realm and into the spiritual. This departure is a calculated move, a necessary step in her ultimate plan, as her spirit prepares for the final, decisive act of rebellion. The Tarnished is left with a sense of both accomplishment and bewilderment, the doll's vacant stare a silent testament to the profound shift that has just occurred. Driven by a desire to understand Ranni's cryptic departure and the deeper implications of her quest, the Tarnished embarks on a journey to the divine tower of Liurnia. These towering structures, scattered across the lands between, are often associated with the demigods and their great runes. However, the divine tower of Liurnia holds a unique and chilling secret pertaining to Ranni. At its summit, the Tarnished discovers a grotesque and unsettling sight. Ranni's discarded Empyrean flesh. This decaying, two-headed corpse is not merely a physical remnant, but a profound piece of evidence, the curse mark of death itself. This discovery is a shocking revelation, confirming Ranni's past as a true demigod, an Empyrean who once possessed a living physical body. The presence of the curse mark of death, a fragment of the rune of death, further illuminates her connection to the Knight of the Black Knives and her role in the Shattering of the Elden Ring. It is here, amidst the decaying remnants of her former self, that the Tarnished truly begins to grasp the depth of Ranni's sacrifice and the true extent of her desire to escape the fate laid out for her. The sight of her former body, a testament to her deliberate choice to shed her physical form, reinforces the idea that Ranni has long been planning this rebellion, that her current doll form is not a limitation, but a strategic advantage. As the Tarnished contemplates the implications of Ranni's discarded flesh, a momentous event unfolds within the Divine Tower. Ranni's spirit, now unburdened by her doll form, ascends the tower, her ethereal form glowing with renewed purpose. At the tower's peak, she confronts her two fingers, the silent, monolithic entities that represent the greater will's direct influence over her. In a powerful act of defiance, Ranni's spirit slays these emissaries, severing her ties to the greater will once and for all. This act is a cosmic tremor, a direct challenge to the established order. The immediate consequence of this audacious act is a violent backlash from the greater will. Ranni's physical doll form, which the Tarnished had left behind at Ranni's rise, is instantly petrified, frozen in a state of inert immobility. This petrification is a desperate attempt by the greater will to contain Ranni's rebellion, to neutralize her by rendering her physical vessel useless. However, Ranni's spirit, now truly free, continues its unseen journey, unhindered by the fate of her inanimate shell. This pivotal moment marks the true beginning of Ranni's Age of the Stars, a future she intends to usher in, free from the influence of the Erd Tree and the greater will. With Ranni's doll form petrified and her spirit seemingly vanished, the Tarnished is left in a state of uncertainty. However, a new clue emerges, leading them to the subterranean depths of the Ansel River. Here, amidst the glowing flora and ancient ruins, the Tarnished discovers a miniature Ranni doll, a smaller, more intricate replica of her larger effigy. This doll, seemingly abandoned, proves to be a conduit for Ranni's spirit. By communing with this miniature form, the Tarnished is once again able to interact with Ranni, her ethereal voice now emanating from the small doll. It is through this miniature vessel that Ranni reveals the next crucial piece of her plan, her ancient pact with the Dark Moon. This pact, forged long ago, is the foundation of her vision for the Age of the Stars, a future where the influence of the greater will is replaced by the silent, guiding light of the moon. The miniature doll serves as a temporary vessel, allowing Ranni to continue her communication with the Tarnished, guiding them towards the final stages of her grand design. This unexpected continuation of her presence, despite the petrification of her primary doll, demonstrates Ranni's foresight and her ability to adapt, even in the face of divine retribution. Her reliance on the miniature doll underscores the importance of her spiritual form and her ability to transcend physical limitations, a key aspect of her rebellion against a physically manifested divine order. The revelation of the Dark Moon Pact provides the Tarnished with a deeper understanding of Ranni's cosmic aspirations, hinting at a destiny far grander than merely becoming the next Elden Lord. This is just the beginning of the Tarnished's true role in Ranni's grand design, a role that will see them become a pivotal figure in the unfolding of a new cosmic age. The illusion of alliance shattered as Ranni revealed her true intentions regarding the baleful shadow, a malevolent manifestation of the Two Fingers' will. This creature, a spectral assassin cloaked in darkness, was not Ranni's ally, but a weapon dispatched by the Greater Will's emissaries to enforce its dominion and prevent Ranni's rebellion. Its purpose was to eliminate Ranni, or at the very least, to force her back into the established order of the Golden Lineage. Ranni, ever the master strategist, had allowed the Tarnished to believe this shadowy figure was her enforcer, a tool in her arsenal against the Golden Order. This deception served multiple purposes. It tested the Tarnished's resolve and strength, ensuring their worthiness as a partner in her grand design, and it allowed her to observe the baleful shadow's movements, understanding its capabilities before its inevitable confrontation. When the opportune moment arrived, Ranni unveiled the truth, instructing the Tarnished to confront and defeat the baleful shadow. This act was not merely a battle. It was a definitive rejection of the Two Fingers' authority, a severing of the last ties that bound Ranni to the Greater Will's influence. The Tarnished's victory over this spectral assassin was a crucial step in Ranni's liberation, proving that the Greater Will's power, even when channeled through its most devoted servants, could be defied and overcome. The defeat of the baleful shadow cleared the path for the Tarnished to continue their journey alongside Ranni, a journey that would lead them to the sacred and mystical Moonlight Altar. This ancient and hallowed site, shrouded in an ethereal glow, was inextricably linked to the Dark Moon, the cosmic entity that Ranni had pledged her allegiance to. The Moonlight Altar, nestled high in the treacherous peaks of Liurnia of the Lakes, was not easily reached. It required navigating perilous terrain, overcoming formidable guardians, and solving intricate puzzles, all designed to test the resolve of those who sought its secrets. For Ranni, the Moonlight Altar was a place of profound significance, a sanctuary where the veil between worlds thinned and the influence of the Dark Moon was most potent. It was here that she planned to fully embrace her new destiny, shedding the last vestiges of her former life as an Empyrean of the Golden Order. Her spirit, still bound to the petrified doll, awaited the Tarnished, a silent sentinel amidst the ruins of an ancient civilization that once worshipped the very celestial body Ranni now sought to champion. The journey to the Moonlight Altar was a pilgrimage, a symbolic passage from the terrestrial dominance of the Erdtree to the cosmic mysteries of the Dark Moon. Upon the Tarnished's arrival at the Moonlight Altar, Ranni, her ethereal voice echoing through the desolate landscape, directed them to a final, crucial task: the retrieval of the Dark Moon Greatsword. This legendary blade, a relic of immense power and historical significance, resided within the Cathedral of Manus Sales, a towering edifice dedicated to the worship of the moon, a testament to the Eternal City's ancient reverence for celestial bodies. The cathedral itself was a testament to the sophisticated understanding of astronomy and magic possessed by the inhabitants of the Eternal City, a civilization that predated the Golden Order and held a deep connection to the cosmic forces that governed the lands between. The Dark Moon Greatsword was not merely a weapon, it was a symbol, a tangible representation of the Dark Moon's covenant. For Ranni, obtaining this sword was an act of profound symbolic weight, a public declaration of her allegiance to the Dark Moon and a rejection of the Golden Order's dominion. It was the ultimate statement, a physical manifestation of her intention to establish a new age, an age guided by the cold, unwavering light of the Dark Moon. The sword's acquisition would solidify her position as the chosen emissary of this cosmic power, replacing the Golden Order's fading influence with a new celestial authority. The Tarnished, guided by Ranni's spectral presence, descended into the depths of the Cathedral of Manus Celes, overcoming its ancient guardians and navigating its labyrinthine passages. There, nestled within the heart of the sacred structure, lay the Dark Moon Greatsword. Its blade hummed with an otherworldly energy, radiating a faint, icy blue light that spoke of its celestial origins. The moment the Tarnished grasped the hilt of the Dark Moon Greatsword, a profound shift occurred. This act was not merely the acquisition of a powerful weapon, it was a symbolic transfer of power, a covenant forged between the Tarnished, Ranni, and the Dark Moon itself. The sword, once a relic of the Eternal City's moon worship, now became the emblem of Ranni's new covenant, a tangible representation of her intention to replace the Golden Order with a new, cosmic order. The very act of wielding it signified a rejection of the Erd Tree's golden glow and an embrace of the Dark Moon's chilling luminescence. This was the culmination of Ranni's long-held ambition, the physical manifestation of her defiance against the greater will and its earthly representatives. The Dark Moon Greatsword, with its inherent magical properties and its deep connection to the moon, became an instrument of this new age, ready to cut through the vestiges of the old. With the Dark Moon Greatsword in hand, the Tarnished returned to Ranni at the Moonlight Altar. It was then, amidst the ethereal glow of the sacred site, that Ranni unveiled the deepest, most shocking truth behind the Night of the Black Knives. This pivotal event, which saw the assassination of Godwyn the Golden and the partial death of Ranni's Empyrean body, had long been shrouded in mystery and misdirection. The prevailing narrative, propagated by the Golden Order, painted Ranni as a victim, her spirit fleeing her murdered body. However, Ranni revealed the chilling reality. She had orchestrated her own Empyrean body's death. This audacious act was achieved using a fragment of the Rune of Death, stolen by Rykard, her half-brother, who had become the Lord of Blasphemy. The Rune of Death, a potent aspect of the Elden Ring, held the power to inflict true death, a concept that had been sealed away by Marika to prevent the demigods from truly perishing. By using a stolen fragment of this rune, Ranni ensured that only her body died while her spirit remained intact. This was not an act of self-destruction, but an act of ultimate liberation. By shedding her physical form, the Empyrean body designated for her by the Greater Will, Ranni freed herself from the control and influence of the Greater Will. She became an entity unbound by flesh, a spirit capable of pursuing her own destiny, unencumbered by the expectations and limitations imposed upon her by the established cosmic order. This revelation was a testament to Ranni's cunning, her foresight, and her unwavering determination to forge her own path, even if it meant defying the very foundations of the lands between. At the Moonlight Altar, with the Dark Moon Greatsword now in the Tarnished's possession and the truth of the Night of the Black Knives laid bare, Ranni proposed a union. This was not merely a political alliance or a strategic partnership. It was a profound offer, a proposal for a shared destiny that would reshape the very fabric of existence in the lands between. Ranni offered the Age of Stars ending, a radical alternative to the established Golden Order. The Golden Order, for millennia, had dictated the laws of causality, the very flow of life and death, and the nature of the Elden Ring itself. It was an age of fervent faith in the Greater Will, an age where the Erd Tree stood as the undisputed symbol of divine authority. Ranni's Age of Stars, however, envisioned a future where the influence of the Greater Will would recede, replaced by the cold, distant wisdom of the Dark Moon. This was an age of freedom, of individual choice, and of a cosmic order that valued knowledge and self-determination over blind adherence to a singular divine will. It was an age where the stars, once merely distant lights, would play a more active role in shaping the destiny of the lands between, guiding humanity with their ancient, enigmatic power. This union with the Tarnished was essential for Ranni to fully realize her vision, as she, in her current spiritual form, required a champion, a partner, to enact the final steps of her grand plan. The choice presented to the Tarnished was monumental: to uphold the fading Golden Order, or to embrace the dawn of a new, starlit era. The Tarnished, having witnessed Ranni's unwavering resolve, understood the profound implications of her proposal. In a moment of solemn commitment, they placed the Dark Moon Ring, a symbol of their shared destiny and a conduit of immense power, onto Ranni's petrified doll finger. This act was far more than a simple gesture. It was the final, crucial step in restoring Ranni's spirit to its full power. The Dark Moon Ring, imbued with the essence of the Dark Moon itself, served as a catalyst, allowing Ranni's ethereal form to coalesce and strengthen. As the ring settled upon her finger, a surge of cosmic energy pulsed through the moonlight altar, a visible manifestation of her spiritual resurgence. The doll, once a mere vessel for her disembodied consciousness, now hummed with renewed life, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. This restoration was vital, as it allowed Ranni to transcend her current limitations and fully embrace her role as the harbinger of the Age of Stars. It signified her complete liberation from the constraints of her former Empyrean body and her ascension to a new level of cosmic influence. With her spirit fully empowered, Ranni was ready to enact the final, transformative act of her grand design. In a breathtaking display of cosmic power, Ranni's restored spirit merged with the Tarnished. This was not a mere merging of wills or a symbolic union. It was a literal, metaphysical fusion, creating a new godly entity. This newly formed being transcended the limitations of both Ranni's spiritual form and the Tarnished's mortal coil, becoming something entirely new, something beyond the understanding of the Golden Order. This fusion represented the ultimate rejection of the Erdtree's influence, as the new entity was no longer bound by its golden laws or its pervasive power. The Erdtree, for so long the undisputed center of the lands between spiritual and physical existence, was now bypassed, its authority rendered obsolete by the emergence of this new cosmic power. The merging of Ranni and the Tarnished symbolized the dawn of a new era, an era where the divine would manifest not through the established order, but through a union of free will and cosmic wisdom. This new entity, born from defiance and destiny, was poised to usher in a future unburdened by the greater will's dictates, a future guided by the principles of the Dark Moon. With their combined power and purpose, the newly formed entity, Ranni and the Tarnished as one, departed the lands between. Their exit was not a retreat, but a deliberate and powerful severance from the old world. They left behind the fading Golden Order, its crumbling institutions, and its dwindling influence. Their departure marked the definitive end of an era, a final, undeniable statement that the greater will's dominion over the lands between was over. As they ascended into the cosmic expanse, they ushered in the Age of Stars, a new era guided by the Dark Moon's cold wisdom. This was an age of mystery, of individual freedom, and of a profound connection to the vast enigmatic forces of the cosmos. The stars, once distant and inaccessible, would now guide the destiny of the lands between, their ancient light illuminating a path towards a future unburdened by the rigid doctrines of the past. The Age of Stars was not an age of chaos, but an age of profound transformation, where humanity would be free to forge its own destiny under the watchful, silent gaze of the Dark Moon. Ranni, the Empyrean who defied destiny, and the Tarnished, the champion who aided her, had together reshaped the very fabric of existence, leaving an indelible mark on the history of the lands between and ushering in a new cosmic epoch. And so, we arrive at the culmination of Ranni's grand design, a future forged in the fires of rebellion and illuminated by the distant glow of a new cosmic order. We are now in the Age of Stars, a new era for the lands between, a future far removed from the golden dominion that once held sway. With the deed done with her 2 fingers, the grotesque emissaries of the greater will, slain, and her very Empyrean flesh, the physical manifestation of her divine potential, severed and discarded, Ranni was finally free. The shackles of destiny, imposed by an outer god she vehemently rejected, were cast aside. Her plan, meticulously laid over centuries and executed with ruthless precision, now moved into its final, irreversible phase. The goal was nothing less than the complete overthrow of the Greater Will's Golden Order, an ancient system of belief and power that had dictated the very fabric of existence in the lands between for untold millennia. This was not merely a change in leadership, but a fundamental shift in the cosmic balance, a reordering of reality itself. The previous era, marked by the lingering influence of the shattered Elden Ring and the desperate struggles of demigods, now receded into history, a prelude to the profound transformation Ranni intended. The Elden Ring, the very embodiment of order and the source of the Erd Tree's power, was shattered beyond any hope of repair. Its golden shards, once symbols of divine authority, now lay inert, their power diffused and broken. This act, whether directly by Ranni's hand or as a consequence of the Tarnished's actions under her guidance, was the ultimate declaration of independence. It was a cosmic divorce, severing the umbilical cord that connected the lands between to the Greater Will. With the Elden Ring's destruction, the Greater Will's influence, its pervasive dominion over fate and life, was finally expelled from the lands between. No longer would its golden light dictate the destinies of mortals, nor would its silent decrees shape the very laws of the world. The world, once bathed in its omnipresent glow, was now adrift, a vessel cut loose from its ancient moorings, ready to sail into uncharted cosmic waters. This expulsion was not a gentle fading, but a violent uprooting, a tearing away of a deeply ingrained presence that had defined the lands between for ages. The very essence of the Golden Order, its rigid dogma and hierarchical structure, crumbled as its divine patron was forcibly removed from the equation. The echoes of its power might linger, like phantom limbs, but its true authority was irrevocably gone. In the void left by the Greater Will's departure, Ranni ushered in the Age of Stars. This was not merely a new political regime, but a new cosmic era, a fundamental redefinition of the world's guiding principles. This new age was governed by the cold, distant dark moon, Ranni's chosen celestial body, and the source of her own enigmatic power. Unlike the omnipresent, often intrusive influence of the Greater Will, the dark moon offered a different kind of guidance, remote, subtle, and profound. Its light was not the blinding brilliance of the Erd Tree, but a gentle, ethereal glow that promised mystery and freedom rather than absolute decree. This shift from a golden sun to a silver moon symbolized a move from overt divine intervention to a more hands-off, philosophical approach to existence. The Age of Stars was an era of cosmic contemplation, of understanding the universe through its vastness and its inherent uncertainties, rather than through the rigid dogmas of a singular deity. It was an age where the individual's journey of discovery held more weight than predetermined fate. As the Age of Stars dawned, the Erd Tree's light, once the dominant beacon across the lands between, began to fade. Its golden leaves, once vibrant with the blessing of the Greater Will, lost their luster, and its colossal form, once a symbol of eternal life and divine favor, became a monument to a bygone era. In its place, the dim glow of the dark moon permeated the sky, casting the lands between in a perpetual twilight. This was not a darkness of despair, but a twilight of introspection, a subtle illumination that encouraged observation and thought rather than blind adherence. The world, once awash in the blinding light of a singular truth, now embraced the nuanced shades of a more complex reality. The familiar golden hues of Limgrave, the vibrant greens of Leonia, and the fiery reds of Caelid were all softened, muted by the pervasive silver light of the dark moon. This constant twilight imbued the landscape with an otherworldly beauty, a sense of ancient magic reawakened, and a quiet solemnity that reflected the profound shift in cosmic governance. The very air felt different, charged with a new kind of energy, one that hummed with possibility rather than static decree. With the greater will's influence gone and the dark moon ascendant, fate itself became fluid and unbound. No longer were the destinies of individuals or nations rigidly predetermined by an unseen hand. Ranni's new order actively distanced itself from earthly concerns and deterministic divinity. The concept of a preordained path, so central to the Golden Order's philosophy, was dismantled. Individuals were now free to forge their own destinies, to make choices that truly mattered, unburdened by the invisible strings of a cosmic puppeteer. This was the true liberation Ranni sought, not just for herself, but for all inhabitants of the lands between. The rigid structure of the Golden Order, which dictated everything from the cycle of life and death to the very nature of truth, was replaced by a philosophy of cosmic freedom. The stars, under Ranni's guidance, would no longer dictate a singular path, but rather offer a myriad of possibilities, a tapestry of potential for each individual to weave. This fluidity of fate meant that prophecies could be defied, curses could be broken, and new futures could be imagined, unconstrained by ancient decrees. It was an age of true agency, where the individual will held unprecedented power. The Tarnished, the brave warrior who had journeyed through the shattered lands and aided Ranni in her monumental endeavor, was not forgotten in this new age. Having pledged their loyalty and love to Ranni, they were granted the esteemed title of Lord of Night. This was no mere ceremonial position, but a true partnership, a ruling alongside Ranni in a union of equals. The Lord of Night would share in the governance of this new cosmic era, their earthly experiences and unwavering resolve complementing Ranni's celestial wisdom. This union symbolized the bridging of worlds, the integration of mortal will with cosmic power, creating a balanced and just leadership for the Age of Stars. The Tarnished, once an outcast, now sat at the pinnacle of a new cosmic order, their journey from an ungraced exile to a divine consort, a testament to the transformative power of choice and defiance. Their presence ensured that the new order, while cosmic in scope, remained grounded in the lived experiences of the lands between, preventing it from becoming too detached or abstract. This partnership was the bedrock of the new governance, a testament to the strength found in collaboration and mutual respect, a stark contrast to the hierarchical and often oppressive rule of the greater will. Even in this new age of cosmic wonder, there was a solemn remembrance for those who had fallen in service of Ranni's vision. Blaidd, Ranni's loyal shadow, her half-wolf companion forged by the two fingers to be her protector, was laid to rest. His tragic madness, a cruel consequence of his inherent programming clashing with his unwavering devotion to Ranni, was a heavy price paid for her freedom. Despite his violent end, driven to frenzy by the greater will's desperate attempts to reclaim Ranni, his loyalty was remembered and honored in the new age. His sacrifice was not in vain, for it cleared a path for Ranni's ascension. His grave, perhaps under the gentle glow of the dark moon, served as a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made to achieve this new reality. His fierce dedication, his unwavering commitment to his mistress, even as his own mind betrayed him, stood as a testament to the profound bonds forged in the crucible of rebellion. He was a symbol of loyalty pushed to its breaking point, and his memory served as a cautionary tale against the manipulative power of outer gods, even as it celebrated the enduring strength of true devotion. Similarly, Iji, the venerable blacksmith and Ranni's steadfast advisor, was mourned by Ranni. His sacrifice, a deliberate act to ensure Ranni's path remained unhindered, was a profound loss. He had guarded her secrets, guided her steps, and ultimately gave his life to protect her final ascent. His wisdom and unwavering support had been instrumental in Ranni's long journey, and his absence left a palpable void. His death, at the hands of Black Knife assassins likely dispatched by the Greater Will's remaining agents, underscored the brutal realities of their rebellion. He had chosen to face his end alone, shielding Ranni from any further danger or distraction, a final act of selfless devotion. Ranni's mourning for Iji was a quiet, personal grief, a testament to the deep bonds of loyalty and affection that had formed between them. His memory, like blades, would be woven into the fabric of the Age of Stars, a reminder of the personal cost of cosmic revolution and the profound impact of those who stand by their chosen leader, even unto death. With the greater will's influence expelled, its power broken, the remaining two fingers, those grotesque, tentacled digits that served as conduits for its will, began to wither. Their servants, the Finger Maidens and other adherents of the Golden Order, found their purpose evaporated, their power drained by the absence of the divine entity they served. Without the greater will to animate them, to whisper its decrees through them, they became inert, lifeless relics of a forgotten era. Their authority, once absolute, crumbled into dust. The very essence of their being, tied so intrinsically to the greater will, simply faded away, leaving behind only husks, monuments to a dominion that was no more. This was the final, quiet dissolution of the old order, not with a bang, but with a slow, inevitable decay, as the source of its power was extinguished forever. Their silent demise marked the definitive end of the greater will's direct presence in the lands between, leaving the stage entirely open for Ranni's new cosmic ballet. The Carian royal family's legacy, now fully realized, sees Ranni's lineage, the very bloodline of sorcerers and moon worshippers, become the undisputed guiding force of this new age. Their ancient aspirations, once stifled by the Golden Order and its rigid dogma, now define the very fabric of existence. The Carian legacy, rooted in the study of the stars and the moon, was always one of intellectual pursuit and magical mastery, a stark contrast to the martial might and faith-based tenets of the Erdtree. Now, with Ranni at its helm, this intellectual and magical tradition flourishes, shaping not just the lands between, but potentially realms beyond. This is a true ascendancy for a family that, for generations, navigated the treacherous political landscape of the lands between, often at odds with the ruling Golden Order. Their patience, their dedication to arcane knowledge, and their unwavering belief in a different path have finally borne fruit, ushering in an era where their principles are paramount. With the Golden Order's influence shattered, the stars, once held captive and frozen in their celestial dance by the formidable power of General Radagon, now move freely again. Radagon, the mightiest demigod, had, in a desperate attempt to protect the lands between from the encroaching outer god of the Scarlet Rot, used his gravitational magic to halt the very cosmos. This act, while heroic in its intent, had profound and unforeseen consequences, disrupting the natural order and preventing the very fate Ranni sought to enact. Now, with Radagon defeated and his cosmic prison broken, the stars resume their ancient, intricate ballet. Their motions, once stagnant, dictate new celestial laws, governing not just the tides and seasons, but also the flow of magic and the destinies of individuals. This liberation of the cosmos represents a fundamental shift in the very physics of the world, allowing for new forms of magic, new discoveries, and a renewed connection to the cosmic forces that had long been suppressed. The implications of this cosmic reawakening are vast, potentially unlocking previously unimaginable powers and insights for those attuned to the celestial movements. The stars, in their renewed dance, whisper secrets that were once silenced, guiding the path of this new world. In this new order, Ranni's former mentor, the enigmatic Snow Witch Renna, is not merely remembered, but honored as the profound inspiration for Ranni's audacious rebellion against the established gods. Renna, shrouded in mystery and possessing a deep understanding of the Dark Moon, was the catalyst for Ranni's defiance, planting the seeds of discontent and guiding her towards a destiny beyond the Golden Order's grasp. It was Renna who taught Ranni the forbidden magic of the full moon, who instilled in her the courage to reject her predetermined fate as an Empyrean, and who ultimately orchestrated the complex ritual that allowed Ranni to shed her flesh and escape the influence of the greater will. Her wisdom, her quiet strength, and her unwavering belief in Ranni's potential were instrumental in shaping the Witch of the Full Moon. Renna's legacy is not one of overt power or grand pronouncements, but of subtle guidance and profound influence, a testament to the power of mentorship and the quiet strength of conviction. Her name, once whispered in hushed tones, is now spoken with reverence, a symbol of the rebellion that birthed the Age of Stars. The Nox, long exiled beneath the earth for their defiance of the greater will and their creation of artificial life, are at last vindicated by Ranni's triumph. For millennia, these ancient beings, with their silver tears and their intricate cities carved from the subterranean rock, were condemned for their ambition and their rejection of the greater will's dominion. They sought to forge their own destiny, to create their own lord, and for this, they were cast out, their cities ruined, and their dreams shattered. But now, under the Age of Stars, their ancient aspirations resonate with Ranni's own struggle for self-determination. Their defiance, once seen as heresy, is now understood as a precursor to the very freedom Ranni champions. The Nox, with their advanced understanding of magic and their unique silver tear physiology, represent a potential ally and a source of ancient knowledge for this new era. Their long-suffering is finally recognized, and their ingenuity, once punished, is now celebrated. This vindication suggests a potential reintegration of the Nox into the broader society of the Lands Between, or at least a cessation of their persecution, allowing them to pursue their own path without fear of divine retribution. Their story, once a cautionary tale, becomes one of perseverance and eventual triumph. The Age of Stars ushers in an era of unprecedented intellectual and magical freedom, a stark departure from the rigid dogma that characterized the Golden Order. The Golden Order, with its emphasis on faith, tradition, and the immutable laws of the Erd Tree, stifled innovation and punished dissent. Its teachings, while providing stability, also limited the scope of magical inquiry and intellectual exploration. But under Ranni's distant, guiding hand, dogma is replaced by the individual pursuit of the moon's enigmatic wisdom. This means a liberation of thought, a dismantling of old orthodoxies, and an encouragement of personal exploration into the vast, uncharted territories of magic and knowledge. Scholars and mages are no longer bound by the strictures of the Erd Tree's teachings. They are free to delve into forbidden arts, to experiment with new incantations, and to unravel the deepest mysteries of the cosmos. The moon, with its ever-changing phases and its cold, ethereal light, becomes the ultimate symbol of this new intellectual frontier, representing intuition, mystery, and the endless possibilities of the unknown. This era fosters a spirit of inquiry, pushing the boundaries of what is known and understood, and potentially leading to a renaissance of magical discovery and philosophical insight. The pursuit of knowledge is no longer a regulated path, but a boundless journey guided by individual curiosity and the allure of the unknown. Ranni's doll body, the vessel she inhabited after shedding her Empyrean flesh, no longer bound to the terrestrial confines of the Lands Between, drifts into the vast, silent cosmos alongside her chosen consort. This act symbolizes a complete detachment from the physical world and its earthly concerns, a final transcendence beyond the limitations of the corporeal. The doll, a symbol of her chosen identity and her rejection of her divine heritage, becomes her eternal vessel, a testament to her will and her defiance. Her journey into the cosmos is not an abandonment, but an ascent, an embrace of a higher, more ethereal existence. With her consort, who chose to stand by her side and embrace her destiny, she embarks on an eternal voyage through the starlit void, their bond transcending the boundaries of time and space. This journey signifies the ultimate fulfillment of her ambition, to guide the world from a distant, unseen realm, without imposing her will directly, but rather by influencing the very fabric of existence through the subtle power of the dark moon. Their union in the cosmos is a profound statement of their shared destiny and their commitment to this new cosmic order. From this celestial vantage point, the Dark Moon's influence begins to spread beyond the familiar shores of the lands between, touching distant realms with its cold, enigmatic guidance. The Age of Stars, therefore, is not merely a localized phenomenon, but a cosmic shift, a new epoch that reverberates across the multiverse. The Dark Moon, once a localized source of power within the lands between, now becomes a beacon, its ethereal light reaching out to other worlds, other civilizations, and other forms of life. This expansion of influence suggests a broader, more universal impact of Ranni's new order, potentially altering the destinies of countless other beings and planets. Its guidance is not one of direct command or overt intervention, but a subtle, almost imperceptible force that encourages introspection, intellectual freedom, and a connection to the deeper mysteries of the cosmos. The Dark Moon's enigmatic nature means its influence is open to interpretation, fostering diverse paths and individual understandings, rather than a singular, dogmatic truth. This cosmic reach elevates Ranni's achievement from a regional victory to an event of truly galactic significance. In this new cosmic order, the remaining demigods, figures of immense power and once central to the conflicts of the lands between, such as the valiant Miquella and the formidable Malenia, fade into obscurity. Their grand ambitions, their devastating wars, and their personal struggles, once the driving forces of the Shattering, are now rendered meaningless in the face of Ranni's transcendent rule. Miquella, forever trapped in his slumber, and Malenia, forever battling the scarlet rot, become relics of a bygone era, their stories fading into the annals of history. Their conflicts, born from the Golden Order's fragmentation and the Greater Will's machinations, no longer hold sway or relevance in a world guided by the distant moon. The Age of Stars offers no place for their earthly power struggles or their divine lineage. It is an age of cosmic contemplation, not mortal combat. Their immense power, once a source of both awe and terror, is now overshadowed by the ethereal guidance of the Dark Moon, their earthly concerns rendered trivial by the vastness of the cosmos. Their fading into obscurity is not necessarily an act of malice or punishment, but a natural consequence of a paradigm shift, where their brand of power and their earthly concerns simply cease to be relevant. Ultimately, the Age of Stars is marked by a profound sense of quiet solitude. Ranni's rule is one of distant observation rather than direct intervention, a subtle influence rather than an overt command. She does not sit on a throne, dictating laws and judging her subjects. Instead, she guides from afar, her presence felt through the subtle shifts in the cosmos, the whispers of the moon, and the burgeoning intellectual freedom of the world. This distant, solitary rule reflects her own journey of self-discovery and her rejection of the traditional roles of a god. She seeks not to dominate, but to enlighten, not to control, but to inspire. The solitude is not one of loneliness, but of profound peace and unwavering purpose. It is an age where individuals are empowered to chart their own course, to seek their own truths, and to connect with the cosmic forces in their own unique ways, all under the silent, watchful gaze of the Dark Moon and its enigmatic queen. The Age of Stars, therefore, is an era of quiet contemplation, profound freedom, and an eternal journey towards the unknown, guided by the silent wisdom of the cosmos. From her tragic birth as a demigod, through the shattering of the Elden Ring, her intricate manipulations of fate, and her ultimate ascension to godhood, Ranni's journey has been a relentless pursuit of a new order, a rejection of the Golden Order's stagnation, and the ushering in of an Age of Stars. Her story is not merely a tale of ambition, but a profound reshaping of the very fabric of the lands between, forever altering its destiny and the lives of all within it. And that is the complete story of Ranni the Witch timeline.